Welcome. My name's Michelle Baharier. I'm going to do my hair in the mirror, and I've been running a series of blogs, whatever, using my poems, and I'm touching my face like Matt Hancock, about the plague. I'm in quarantine, not a good place to be, just because it's scary. The whole thing's scary, and plagues are scary. And today the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, got admitted to hospital. He's already in intensive care, which of course is quite disturbing. But what I thought I'd read you is a poem that I've written before, quite a long time ago. And it's called On the NHS. And hopefully you know the guy Bruce Springsteen, and he's got Born in the USA. Well, I want you to use the same kind of tune for Born on the NHS, because that's how most of us are born. I think I said my name, didn't I? My name's Michelle Baharier, and I've been writing poetry for a very, very, very long time. So I hope you enjoy this. Usually I do it with an audience, and tonight I would have gone to Highgate Poetry. We're a small group, and I might have read this or something else because we have a challenge, and this certainly doesn't necessarily go with that challenge. Anyway, and normally I would go 1, 2, 3, Born on the NHS, and you would go 1, 2, 3, Born on the NHS. Blonde hair, blue eyes, up yours, Adolf. Yes, very important. I was nurtured by the NHS, vaccinated and incubated by the NHS. I was cured of whooping cough and delivered from minor illnesses and recovered from rheumatic fever. I was born on the NHS. 1, 2, 3. I was born on the NHS. I watched my father become a guinea pig before the morphine took its toll, relieving his soul from his shell. I have seen the NHS create miracles and bring babies back from the dead. I have witnessed the NHS miracle after miracle of modern science. I have experienced the death of both parents as they died on the NHS. Will the NHS still be nurturing me in my time of death? Once there used to be a hospital where we stand today. Now the windows of a one-time workhouse turned hospital flaunt the inhabitants of luxury flats. The very people who lived off the earnings of those in the workhouses and produced the giant of greed. I hope my time of passing is a pleasant one, if I so need. 1, 2, 3. I was born on the NHS. 1, 2, 3. We were born on the NHS. I wanted to read the poem because the NHS have become a real focus point in fighting this plague. And many of the people who've died have been NHS workers. We've heard about doctors, we've heard about nurses, we haven't heard about cleaners or auxiliary staff or admin staff, and I'm sure there are some. We've heard about bus drivers, we haven't heard about shop workers, And actually I think there's a whole bunch of people out there who are frontline workers. There's delivery people who, you know, I'm in quarantine, I can't go out, so people have to bring me my food. And every time I open the door, I feel like getting a bell and go, bring out your dead, you know. And there's some quite funny skits about that. However, we are where we are, and we do things differently now. But there is that connection, and at the same time, we need to think about, we've got a public healthcare system that has been run down for years and years and years deliberately. And part of why it's doing so badly is because things like the testing, for example, instead of being given to Public Health England to sort out with infection control people in every council, it's been bashed out to private companies owned by Tories, probably, but I don't know for sure, but certainly some of them would be. So my poem to the NHS is about the importance of a public healthcare system. Sadly, many of us will have friends and relatives overseas, especially somewhere like America, where a catastrophe upon catastrophe, there's no public health care, and their government hasn't issued a warning. And both our systems have a similar issue. No personal protective equipment, whether you're in the States or you're in the UK or you're in Italy or wherever. And in order to stay sane, we have to have some humour. However, we also need to put pressure on the governments to take responsibility for their actions of putting us in danger. And the NHS is one of those institutions that protects us, yes, holds us together as a society with a social contract. So I urge you to go away and look up social contract. And that's all from me for tonight. My name's Michelle Baharier. I am going to be putting subtitles eventually on my little videos, but at the moment I can't cope with that because I'm looking after somebody who's been in hospital and come out and needs help, hence the quarantine, and the quarantine's been for a long time, and I'm not sure how many days left I have of the quarantine, because I'm not sure if it goes from the day they went to hospital or the day they came out of hospital, because the guidance is so confusing. So, on that night, born on the NHS, keep it up, and thank you, anyone out there who works for the NHS, for saving my friend's life. That's the best birthday present anyone could ever get. Thank you. Night night.